Anda kembali menyaksikan Closing Bell. Meski divonis positif COVID-19 dan diharuskan menjalani perawatan di rumah sakit, Presiden Amerika Serikat Donald Trump tetap menyapa pendukungnya yang setia menanti di depan rumah sakit tempatnya dirawat. Dan minggu sore waktu setempat, Trump ini dengan menumpang sebuah SUV terlihat melambaikan tangannya kepada pendukungnya yang menanti di depan rumah sakit Walter Reed, tempat menjalani perawatan. Dan ini merupakan penampilan perdana Trump di hadapan publik usai dinyatakan positif COVID-19 pada Jumat lalu. Aksi konvoi dan kemunculan Trump di hadapan publik ini mendapatkan kecaman sejumlah pihak. Salah satunya datang dari dokter yang merawat Trump di Walter Reed. Dr. James P. Philip, ia menyebut bahwa aksi ini sebuah kegilaan.
Thank them all, the nurses, the doctors, everybody here. I've also gotten to meet some of the soldiers and the first responders, and what a group. I also think we're going to pay a little surprise to some of the great patriots that we have out on the street, and they've been out there for a long time, and they've got Trump flags, and they love our country. So I'm not telling anybody but you, but I'm about to make a little surprise visit. So perhaps I'll get there before you get to see me. But I just, when I look at the enthusiasm, and we have enthusiasm like probably nobody's ever had. Our people that love the job we're doing, we have more enthusiasm than maybe anybody.
Untuk membahas lebih jauh terkait mengenai dampak dari Presiden Amerika Serikat Donald Trump yang positif COVID-19 dan juga efeknya tentunya ke pasar keuangan, sudah terhubung bersama dengan kami Chairman and Managing Member Great Hill Capital, Thomas J. Hayes. Hi Tom, appreciate it for your time.
Hi, Maria.
Yeah, okay, we know. We started about President Trump health conditions. Videos a few days ago, the Trump president declared himself positive for COVID-19 and is currently undergoing quarantine. But the latest update, he has been able to come home today. What will the market respond about this condition?
Yeah, I think this is a very positive development. As you said, he was diagnosed on Thursday. We came to find out on Friday morning. And the doctors immediately put him on a treatment from Regeneron. And what's interesting about this treatment, which could potentially help the whole world, is the phase 1 data came out just on Tuesday before he was diagnosed. 275 patients were on this treatment, and it brought the duration of symptoms down from 13 days down to 6 days. So he had the courage to try this experimental treatment. It's obviously shown to be very successful. After he used that night, they put him on Gilead's remdesivir, which people have known about for many months now. He's now taken 3 5 doses. And you can see over the weekend the different videos that he's dramatically improved. And as you said, it looks like he'll be coming home today. So this is a very positive thing, even before we have the vaccine, that we have now 2 solid treatments that have shown efficacy from studies and from the president's use. And I think the market is really looking forward to this, because as it relates to the economy, the number one thing that the market is worried about would be a Democratic sweep. And the reason is, it's not because of political ideology. It's because the Democratic tax plan is to raise our corporate tax rate, Maria, from 21% to 28%. And that would really have an impact on lowering earnings expectations for 2021 from $170 per share on the S&P 500 to $150 per share. So what the market does not want a Democratic president, Senate, and House. It's less critical who's elected for president. It's just more critical that one of the other branches is the opposite party, so that we don't have the increase in corporate taxes.
Okay, is this a critical moment for President Trump and the 2 candidates? And this is a week near from the election day. But how worried, or how is the concerns market for Donald Trump health? And with these conditions especially, how is your predict the movement of the index on the Wall Street Exchange for the opening of the trading, especially on the trading day today?
Yeah, well, the trading day, I think, is going to be up. I think people are surprised with how quickly the president has bounced back. He really looked healthy on the videos last night. The doctors have said that he's doing well. So the market, I think, is really looking forward to that. And if you look at the election betting odds, which give the odds a compilation of the odds of him getting reelected, right now, they have him at 30.7%, which sounds really low. It looks like Biden would be reelected based on those odds. However, if you go back to 2016 when he was running against Hillary Clinton, his odds at this exact point, October 5th, were only 24.7%. So he actually has higher odds right now of being reelected than he did at this time in 2016. And I think the market is looking at this. It's obviously very positive. The futures are up here in the United States about 20 points on the S&P 500. That for certain, number one, he still has a chance to be reelected. But number two, the reason the market's up is because the market does not believe that the Democrats will win all three. The president, the Senate, and the House, which means they will not be able to enact the corporate tax rate. The other part of the Democratic tax plan, which the market was worried about, is they want to increase long-term capital gains tax rate from 20% to 39.6%. So if you did have a sweep, you would see a lot of people before the end of the year trying to sell stocks in order to lock in the lower tax rate.
Okay.
And based on the market being up and the market being buoyant, it does not believe that they will win all three parties. So whether you get President Trump or President Biden to win the election, we will not have a sweep, and that's what the market's telling you based on how it's been behaving.
Okay, the United States will launch a massive 2.2 trillion stimulus US dollars. What will it be like for the US economy and the impact for the dollars? In depth, we can discuss this about about the massive stimulus after this ones. Don't go. And kita akan kembali lagi usai jeda, tetap bersama kami di Closing Bell. Kembali lagi di Closing Bell dan kami lanjutkan kembali diskusi bersama dengan Chairman and Managing Member Great Hill Capital Thomas J. Has. Tom, we'll continue our discussion especially about the United States will launch a massive 2.2 trillion US dollar stimulus. So with this stimulus, what will it be like, especially for the US economy and economic growth in the third quarter and the fourth quarter in 2020?
Yeah, well, they're still talking about this stimulus. If this was to be approved, the market is not anticipating this stimulus getting passed. I think the expectations are low. So if you did see this stimulus pass, and I know the House had 2.2 trillion, it looked like the administration was at 1.6 trillion. If they could meet in the middle, you would see a massive rally in the stock market. I think what's potentially likely to happen if they don't get this done right away before the election, you could see a second executive order. There was about $380 billion of the first stimulus, the CARES Act, that has not yet been utilized. And likely what you could see, if they don't come to an agreement between the 1.6 and the 2.2 trillion, that the president would effectively say that this money has been allocated by Congress. We are going to reallocate it by executive order, which would lead to enhanced unemployment benefits and potentially a second stimulus package for those most in need. And that would also be very, very bullish for the economy. So if one of those two things happen, which is not yet priced into the stock market, I think you're going to see equity markets around the world move even higher.
Okay, let's move to another market, especially in Asian market. How do you see about the Asian market? Do you see that economies in Asia is still vulnerable right now? in the middle of the pandemics.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're seeing tremendous data coming out of Asia, particularly out of China. We've tracked it very closely because what we've seen in China is they're about 3 months ahead of us in terms of the recovery because their initial cases in their epicenter peaked about 3 months ahead of us. And what was most important, you saw manufacturing and construction and industrial leading China, but there was a worry about the consumer. And as we saw last month, for the first time, you saw positive consumer spending. You're seeing record restaurant bookings. You saw domestic air travel in August at 86% of pre-pandemics. It looks like September could be closer to 100% of pre-pandemic levels. So we're very bullish on Asia and the emerging markets coming out of this. And we're seeing data, even looking at 80% of cinemas in China are reopening. The shopping malls are reopening. And this is very, very positive because in the developed world, we're a little bit behind. And if we can look forward to things like this, retail sales, discretionary sales of cars was up 11.8%. So it's data like this, which is very, very promising, both in China, which is going to affect the whole of Asia, and you're seeing it in the Australia numbers and in Southeast Asia. So this is a very positive thing.
So how do you see about the emerging market potentials like Indonesia? So the capitals outflow is quite high out from the Indonesian's markets. And how do you see about that?
Yeah, I know the last time I was with you, Maria, I was saying that the long-term outlook is very, very bright for Indonesia. You have a young demographic, a fast-growing economy. I think we're in the beginning of a new commodity cycle, which could last the next 3 to 5 years. And I'll step out, and I think your audience is really going to like this, Maria, because this is kind of our outlook. I could see the JCI in Indonesia doubling within the next 5 years for sure. All of the components are there in terms of the recovery, in terms of the positioning, in terms of the demographics, in terms of a downtrend in the US dollar. All of the things that help emerging markets are going to specifically help Indonesia even more. And I think if you can take that long-term horizon, I know you have the short-term volatility in the near term, the market's been choppy in Indonesia, but if you look out 3, 4, 5 years and you're patient, I think you're perfectly positioned to have a monster move, growth in the economy, growth in the stock market, and you just have to look through this short-term volatility and you're really going to benefit.
Okay, we hope so. That will be in the recovery fast in Indonesia. Thank you so much for your time. Once again, Thomas J. has Chairman and Managing Member Great Hill Capitals to discussing with us. Thank you. Dan informasi tadi menjadi penutup closing bell hari ini. Saksikan terus CNBC Indonesia di cnbcindonesia.com, Transvision 805, dan juga melalui UCTV di IndiHome. Saya Maria Katarina pamit, terus saksikan CNBC Indonesia Beyond Business. Stay healthy.